Well, as I've said earlier, our reporters, of course, are stationed across Nasrec and are bringing us the very latest in terms of developments there. Let's now cross to our reporter who is currently on the ground, Natasha Puri, for us, and she's going to give us the very latest. Natasha, good afternoon to you. As we've heard now, of course, Pule Mabe saying the conference will proceed, as normal. Earlier, the party's Gwen Ramakgopa saying that credentials of the conference are going to be tabled, later on today. A lot was not done yesterday due to those delays. In fact, 7 hours before the ANC president was able to table his political report. Talk to us firstly about what is happening currently now.
Well, thank you so much, Unaiti. We've just seen delegates going back into plenary, as you've correctly said, that credentials need to be adopted. And we actually expect that to be a long process. Just speaking to ANC delegates on the sidelines of this conference, it is going to be a hotly contested one. I mean, we're going to probably see credentials being adopted up to midnight, and then only nominations could actually start for those top 6 positions. But I'm actually joined by I Baleka Mbete, who is the convener of the ANC Women's League's national task team, and we'll just be talking on a number of issues. Ms. Mbete, thank you so much for joining us at SABC News. Earlier on this year, we spoke to you as SABC News, and yet again, we're speaking to you again. You have endorsed President Cyril Ramaphosa as the next president of the ANC. Coming out of this conference, will he be the president?
Well, that is yet to be seen. Remember, the process of nominations even is not yet complete. So that was the beginning of the process of having different delegations have their own opportunity to express their views, and that's what came out of that exercise. And now here at conference, we are yet to, number one, adopt rules that are relevant for elections, and therefore the constitutional amendments that have to be considered that are on the table, and then only we go to the actual nominations process when the electoral committee will guide us through that exercise.
Ms. Mbete, before the ANC Women's League has come out saying that, women are capable of leading the ANC, why support ANC President Cyril Ramaphosa? Why not support, Nkosazana or Mamlindiwe Sisulu?
Remember the nominations exercise that you are referring to as the outcome of the Women's League exercise and expression of a view, as I say, was a limited but only the beginning of the process. So it's not as though it's actually a survey broadly of ANC women and what they think. So you must not be fooled, because in that exercise we had the National Task Team members as well as members from provinces joining to just be a survey, to engage in an exercise that will be part and parcel of the beginning of the broader nominations process. So I don't want to say just because that was the outcome, it was a reflection of what ANC women or ANC Women's League members even necessarily have been surveyed and are saying, So I wouldn't agree that you should put it that way. The process must be allowed, and only at the end will we come out with a view, or an understanding or an interpretation of what we think is being said by members.
And I get what you're saying, but can I just please also ask, when the chair of the electoral committee, the secretary of the electoral committee came out, announcing those candidates or those who have reached the threshold for the top 6 position, were you not somewhat disappointed that only 2 female names made it, the likes of Nomvula Mokonya and Phoebe?
Actually 3. I was happy. If I may,
out of all these men, Ms. Mbete,
if I may put this on record, the exercise that we went through that day came out with 3 male candidates or nominees and 3 women. Thandi Modise was the deputy president candidate. There was Nomvula Mukonyane as DSG, and there was Gwen Ramokupa as TG. So we came out that day without trying, without having, had exhaustive discussions or, it just came out 50-50. So I think that must be on record, that our nominations exercise came out with what we believe should be the case, and that is 50-50. But remember, we're just one of the many delegations of the ANC, so we have no expectation that necessarily that outcome is going to have a drastic influence in the outcome. We hope it could, we wish it could, but let's wait and see.
Off air, we were having a discussion about the constitutional amendments, the possibility of having 2 deputy secretary generals.
Yes, that's on the table. That went through the NEC, through the help of the Constitutional Committee exercise and consultations, and we've just now put it before conference, and I think it's a position we're going to agree on. So we will see. When the nominations come, the names will then be on the table.
And I know you can't preempt anything. Like you said, that when the nominations come, the names will be on the tables.
Yeah.
But just speaking to various delegates out there, we've been hearing the talks of, possibly occupying and delegates possibly nominating 2 women for those positions.
Now, this gives me an opportunity to make one important point. What I want to put on record is women are capable. Women are capable to run the organization, to be a president, to be a secretary general, to be a treasurer general, any of the positions. That's one point I want to make. Just as much as I believe Charlotte Maxeke could have been the president of the ANC in 1912.
But Ms. Mbete, don't you think the time should have been now to have an ANC Women's League president that is a woman?
Yes, maybe it will happen. Actually, the process is still going to happen. So you don't have to make an assumption that the deal is done. No, it's not yet done.
So anything can happen.
Now, the point I want to make is the assumption must never be made that the deputies are there to be women.
Yes.
No. Women are capable of being the Secretary General and having male deputies.
Ms. Mbete, thank you so much.